Good afternoon, everyone. Jagdish sir, hope I'm audible.
Yes, madam.
So, shall we begin?
Yes, madam.
Okay, sir. Once again, a very good afternoon to everyone present here. I am Aisha Khanam, Head of Business Administration Department, St.Teresa's Degree College for Women. It's my pleasure to wholeheartedly welcome you all to the 5 days national level webinar on revised NAAC criteria, hosted by St.Teresa's Degree College for Women. This webinar is the initiative
Yeah,
of
you are audible.
IQAC. This webinar is the initiative of IQAC. We, the organizing team, on behalf of our college, would like to once again give a very warm and pleasant welcome to everyone. I feel honored to take you through another inspiring day, day 3. Today we will be covering Criteria 3, topic concerning research, innovations and extension, and Criteria 4, infrastructure and learning resources. It's our privilege to have got this opportunity to organize this event under the able guidance of our Honorable Principal, Dr. Sister Prema, Vice Principal and IQAC Coordinator, Mrs. Malika Ma'am, Academic Coordinator, Mr. Rajesh Sir, HOD of Commerce, Mr. Rajarami Sir. Here are few instructions that we would like all our participants to follow during this webinar. Please pay attention while I read them out for you. On joining the sessions, participants will have to mute your audio and turn off your video. Please check the technical configurations before you start. If you wish to ask any questions, kindly use the chat box. It will be taken up in the end during question and answer session. And kindly use headphones and earphones for better audio. We request you to kindly keep it professional and only ask questions related to the content of Criteria 3 and 4 of NAAC. It is informed to all the participants that feedback forms will be shared after every session and e-certificates will be issued to the participants who will attend the webinar and submit the feedback form. We are pleased to have in our midst the esteemed resource person, Professor Jagadish J, Assistant Professor, Government First Grade College, Hirisave, Hassan. It's my pleasure to wholeheartedly welcome you, sir, for this session.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you for consenting to be our resource person for this webinar, sir. I request you to take over. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Aisha, madam. A very good afternoon to all the deans, principals, and professors and various staff members of various higher education institutions. I wholeheartedly welcome once again and to know about the Criterion 3 and 4 for today's session. Is the screen is visible, madam?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Thank you. So let us know about the informations related to Criterion 3. Before entering into the metrics, just I would like to give an overlook about the Criterion 3. The Criterion 3, it speaks about the role of a teacher, how a teacher should be through the academics and towards the concern about the society. By involving the students, what should be the role of a teacher? So in Criteria 2, we all came to know that it is completely related to classroom activities. Now, when it comes to the Criterion 3, it also focuses on the quality of a teacher in sensitizing the students to the social issues. And also, his own contribution to the research area. So this is the main theme of the Criterion 3. It focuses in three aspects. One is research related performance of the teachers of the respected institutions. And it speaks also about the innovations where many of us has to think about it. The last part is extension activities. So which is related to the society, the contribution of the teachers by utilizing and conveying the proper messages to the students. Let us know what are the contents we have in Criterion 3. So we are seeing that the total weightage has been allocated is 110. So as we were discussing yesterday, one point came to my mind. I want to remind it. That is, previously we had different manuals for UG colleges and PG colleges. It was different, and it was based on criteria 3 and 5. It was having a different questions and different weightages. But now in the new manual from past 1 year, they have made a compulsion for both the UG and PG the same manual. The UG and PG colleges has to follow the same manual. Here in area 3, they have allotted 110 weightage, which is of 5 chapters, that is 5 key indicators, and 9 questions, that is 9 metrics. Out of them, 6 are quantitative metrics and 3 qualitative metrics where we have to write it in the 500 words. For 6 metrics, we need to focus on many things which are available to the expansion of academic activities in the society. So through the involvement of society, how the academic activities will be done in the college. Based on that, we will going to get the good weightages, which is related to 6 QNMs and 3 QLMs are there. Now let us know what are the 5 chapters. Here, the first key indicator speaks about the resource mobilization for research activity. So under that, it has been allocated with only 10 weightage and 1 QNM is there. That is in the form of Excel sheet we need to answer. The second one is innovation ecosystem. We need to rethink ourselves once again about this topic. By knowing this, we will going to change our attitude in teaching learning process also. It is possible due to the thought of the NAAC. So this key indicator speaks about the innovation ecosystem available in the institution, which is allotted with the 15 weightage that will be allocated among 2 questions. That is, one is QNM and another one is QLM. And the third part is research publication and awards. It is about the teacher's quality, our teacher's profile. So it has been allocated with the 25 weightages. We need to concentrate that 25 weightages for 2 QNMs. And the fourth chapter is about the extension activities. See here, out of 110, 40 weightage have been allocated to the extension activities. So we need to focus on this, how to score more CGP. 1 QNM and 2 QLMs are there. So related to extension activities, 2 QLMs are there, only 1 QNM is there. And the last and most important interesting topic is about the collaboration. So here for collaboration, they have given 20 weightage for only 1 question, that is the QNM. So now let us know what are the collaboration and innovation ecosystem, which are very major topics in the Criterion 3. Now the first key indicator 3.1 speaks about how a teacher or the institution is getting the benefit of resources or mobilizing the resources for research activities. 10 weightage will be allocated and there will be no opt-out metrics here. Previously it was available. So many of the institution out of 295 colleges, many of the colleges have opted out this question due to the inavailability of sufficient details or maybe not valid information available in the institution during the assessment period. Here, the question is about the grants received from government and non-governmental agencies, and that too for not for infrastructure, it is for research projects and endowments in the institutions during the last 5 years, and it should be mentioned in lakhs. Suppose if you have got any minor or major project and you got 2.5 lakhs or 2 lakhs 50,000 in a assessment year, so in that particular year you should mention number as 2.5 instead of 2540. You should mention it as 2.5 rupees in lakhs. That is about the column they have provided. And the thing is, they have given one more Excel sheet which will be in this format. The first column indicates about the name of the research project or endowment. Here, if available, then we have to provide the details: name of the research project, name of the principal investigator or co-investigator. So that means who have taken the project, their details has to be mentioned. Then department of the principal investigator, year of award. It must be in the assessment year. If it is being done out of the assessment year, it cannot be considered. So if it is done in the assessment year, so in the last end they have mentioned in the question during the last 5 years. That is assessment. The next column speaks about the amount sanctioned for that project, minor or major, any government or non-government agencies projects. Grants will be sanctioned. That amount has to be specified. For that purpose, we need to have a sanction letter as well from the concerned departments. Then duration of the project, it depends on the project. The years has to be mentioned or the month has to be mentioned. Then name of the funding agency, which agency have been providing that. And the type of the agency has to be mentioned over here. That is whether it is government or non-government. Now the question is where to get the funds, how to utilize the funds. So now the UGC was providing the funds for minor and major projects, but now they have closed all the doors, and that has been converted into under RUSA. We have to apply. They will provide the minor major projects, or any government projects also can be taken by the teachers. So basically, many of the faculties which are having the patents and copyrights, they are also doing wonderful job all over the country, and those details has to be mentioned here. Just it is about the quality of the teacher. A teacher must involve in research project. So it is the expectation and standard level set by the NAAC. So if the details are available, we will provide. Otherwise, we will put 0 here. So this is the first question, which is of allocation of 10 weightage. Then we'll move on to the important topic, that is key indicator 3.2, innovation ecosystem, which is allotted with the 15 weightage. And the first question in the key indicator 2 is, it's a QLM. Institution has created an ecosystem. Institution has created an ecosystem for innovations and has initiatives for creation and transfer of knowledge. This is the beautiful word we need to concentrate: creation and transfer of knowledge. They have specifically mentioned about 3 topics, that is patents filed and published, incubation center facilities in the HEI to be considered here. That means even the UGC have related to this, have passed on order in the February 2023. All principals of the college, research and development cell in the colleges has to be established according to the UGC. This month only they have given this order also. So RDC, that means establishment of research and development cell in the colleges, which are available on the UGC website also. The guidelines also provided here. A clear-cut roadmap for the establishment of RDC with its objectives and functions. It has been mentioned in the website. So I would like to request all of you to visit this website at www.ugc.ac.in. There you will find the procedures, how to form the RDC and what are the objectives and functions, how it should be. In general, I can easily say that the second word, publishing the research papers. So many of the institutions think about this. Innovation means it only happens with the either in the engineering colleges or in the computer science offering institutions. So even the humanities subject and others also should have a committee called Innovation Eco Committee or Ecosystem. There we have to guide the students to go and take up the research activities. So usually what happens after becoming an assistant professor or professor, we will be publishing the papers in UGC care list or non-UGC care list, anything. There we need to focus few students where we will call them as advanced learners. So those type of students has to be provided the opportunity to present their research paper and guiding them. A separate section or committee must be there, and they should involve in the research activity. That is what the expectation about the innovation ecosystem in the college. And even the third part speaks about the incubation center facility. Here, most of the colleges will not be awareing to have an incubation center at their institution. They might feel it should happen only in engineering colleges. Not like that. Even any colleges which are offering humanities subject or commerce subject, they need to focus on a separator. Cell must be there, or space or stage or any room must be available, like how we give a room for IKSC, NSS, sports and culture, like that. The incubation center should have the facility of few computers and internet facility to search the informations or data required for their activities. And what a commerce teacher can do or an humanities teacher can share the knowledge. Here they are talking about initiatives for creation and transfer of knowledge. Here that can happen in a two ways. Either they should be involved in the academic activities like research paper, or the student should be given opportunity about the career enhancement. If a BA student, humanities subject student, or a BCom student, after completion of his or her degree, wants to start up a business, need to start a business, if they want to know how to start a business, or what are the parameters we should think before starting up a business, the committee has to help them to do some survey. If you want to start any browsing center, so what was the procedure required, where you are supposed to start that shop, and how many resources is required, what type of resources are required, how much cost it will take for the capital, and how to get the funds. These type of things has to be allocated to them, and that student or the group of students have to collect the data regarding this, and they should also know about the bank policies or government policies like Mudra Yojana, all those things. So these type of information has to be collected by the students. If he or she wants to start up a business, how they will going to start, what is the procedure they will going to follow. So everything will be presented in that particular RDC cell. There the committee members or senior faculties who are watching that presentations, they need to suggest this area, how you will choose, those type of things. So that means transfer of knowledge has to happen. So like this, each and every higher education institution should have a separate cell regarding the research and development. That committee need to support to the students regarding the research activities or their career enhancement. So this procedure has to be written in our institution. What is the name of the innovation ecosystem committee, and which room is allocated, and what type of resources are available, whether it is LAN connected or Wi-Fi connected. So all those things, and how the students will be motivated, what type of activities will be done, how the committee will work. So these type of procedures has to be written in 500 words instead of number of papers, name of the papers published like that. Instead of that, you should mention the procedures and the parameters they are using in the innovation ecosystem. That has to be written over here in the QLM. In the next question, it speaks about related to this, to give the knowledge about the research activity. How many programs have been conducted? That is about the second QNM. That is the second question, 3.2.2. Number of workshops or seminars or conferences. Like this conference or webinar can be considered, and including on major three topics, that is research methodology, intellectual property rights, and entrepreneurship, conducted during the last 5 years, including these major topics. On any topics which are related to the academics are helpful for the students, how many workshops or seminars conducted in the institutions during the last 5 years. Based on that, 5 weightage will be awarded. Here we have to provide the details in numbers, year-wise, total number of workshops conducted. In the second Excel sheet, we need to mention year, name of the workshop, number of participants, that is most important. Number of participants, including outsiders, we need to mention, and date from to which date it has been conducted, and report has to be prepared. Now, a report means, take for example, I'll show here one sample report. It has been downloaded in Google. So now the first part of a report, main thing as per the observations among the 200 colleges, what we have done. So that is the first portion is letterhead. Any report must be in the letterhead and related to which metric that has to be mentioned. And the second portion is about the details of the program. So if you conduct a program, there must be a title and on which day it has been conducted, a name of the resource person and a program coordinator, and number of students participated, and what was the program details. These are the basic details. Even the many colleges can prepare the reports in a wider manner, in a qualitative manner. So that is possible, but the basic requirement as of the DVVs we find among across the criterions. So these are the basic things. And two photographs or one photograph along with, in the last part, here they have not given the signature. Signature must be there in each and every page. Even the report can contain with two photographs or one photograph. That is possible. So the thing is, three parts must be there. That is, one is letterhead. The second one is information about the programs. Last one is attestation from the principal. So these type of informations has to be provided in the reports. That has to be uploaded in our institutional website. That link need to be pasted over here. So Criterion 3, the work starts before preparing the reports. It has to be before preparing the SSR. It has to be uploaded in the institutional website. So the proper link has to be dropped in this last column. So this type of events will be conducted over here. And by this way, we can also reduce the DVVs as well. So for one report, if you conduct any program, there must be an invitation or brochure. And the same details what I have shown till now, that can be considered as the details. Then comes to the key indicator 3.3. Research publication and awards. Now it speaks about the quality of the teachers. The first metric in 3.3 key indicator is number of research papers published per teacher. We should understand per teacher they are asking. So whatever the data total number we provide, it will be divided by the full-time teachers of the institution. In the journals notified UGC care list during the last year. So here they will provide a Excel sheet and two details. So Here you can see in the outer columns of the SSR, we will mention the statistical details. Year 21-22, how many research papers are there in UGC care list? Only UGC care list. Here there are some ambiguities as well. So when we're doing the research paper before 5 years, there were no research related UGC care list, or 1 or 2 years before we have published a research paper in UGC care list. At that time it was there, now it is not available in the list. So what to do? So all these type of things will be there. Keep it aside. If the proper link where it will going to land in the publisher's website on your paper, that is only the main document here. If it is available, active links available, then only we will get the marks. Otherwise, in this first question, it will not be considered. The things about the details required is, in the first column, you should mention the title of the paper, name of the author or authors, then department of the teacher, name of the journal, year of publication, and ISSN number. So that needs to be mentioned. It must be during the assessment year. And they have asked here about two links. Both the links has to be provided to reduce the DVB. The first one is about the link to the website of the journal. So about the journal which lands in the journal website, that has to be provided. And another one is link to the article or paper, abstract of the article, that has to be concentrated here as a second part. That link has to be provided. If links are not active, or it is not in the active mode, then you should mention it as, is it listed in UGC care list? You can mention it as yes. If you mention no, then they will not going to consider it, even though they have given the column. Based on the practical experience, I am saying they will not consider. If you give 10 links about the 10 papers, if 2 links are not landing on the particular page, they will going to consider only 8 papers. That is the harsh truth. And the second question, which speaks about the whatever the papers you have published, but the link is not available, then you can consider them in the next question. That is 3.3.2. It's a simple, if the active link is there, still it is in the UGC care list in the previous question. Otherwise, consider that paper here in the 3.3.2. Number of books and chapters in editorial volumes, books published and papers published in national, international conference proceedings as well per teacher during the last 5 years. So here we need to take all the books published in the ISSN or ISBN or anything, and any research papers at national, international level, or even conference proceedings can be considered here. So that has to be mentioned. The thing is, what are the requirement document? The cover page must be available of that particular book. Content page, where it will be mentioning about the ISBN number, the first page of the selected publication. These are the 3 major documents about if you are mentioning a book has been published. That book details has to be in your institutional website. Each and every books has to be uploaded over there. Only the first 3 pages. The thing is, first face sheet or cover page, second one details about the ISBN number or ISSN number, and the last page is about the author details or book details that must be there. So like this, 3 details about particular document need to be scanned and uploaded in your institutional website. That has to be provided in the Excel sheet. That is, first column is about serial number, name of the teacher, title, then title of the paper. Books has to be mentioned separately and research paper has to be mentioned separately. Title of the proceedings of the conference need to be mentioned over here. Then name of the conference, either it is national or international level. Then year of publication, ISBN number of the proceedings, and if available, you will mention affiliating institute at the time of publication, then name of the publisher. So these are the details need to be mentioned inside the Excel sheet. So It is purely based on the performance of the teachers. So hence my suggestion to the all the principals of the departmental HODs or to the deans, my request is give the opportunity to the teaching fraternity to or encourage them to publish more books and chapters. Suppose if you have 40 teachers and only one or two of among them are publishing the books and chapters, it will be divided among the total number of full-time teachers available in the institution. Hence, we request and suggest the higher authorities to give an offer or make them compulsory that yearly one paper or semesterly they are supposed to publish the research paper. So in this manner, even the quality of a teacher will increase and the standard of the institution as well increases, and easily we can score more CGPA in this question as well. So these are the suggestions regarding the research publication. And here the fourth indicator speaks about the extension activities. So extension activities which will be allocated with the 40 weightage. So majorly we need to concentrate about this. The first is about the QLM, which allocated with 10 weightage. It speaks about extension activities are carried out in the neighborhood community for sensitizing students to social issues, are there for their holistic development, and what is the impact thereof during the last 5 years. Here what I have observed in the past 2 years, many of the institutions will write in 500 words about what are the events conducted. They will more concentrate where we have visited the villages, what are the awareness program we conducted, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So many activities will be mentioned over there. And in the QLM itself, they also mentioned what are the number of participants were there. Everything is right. But the continuation part to get good weightage is the last words. That is the impact thereof during the last 5 years. So this process, every institution is failing to prove in front of the peer team members. What is the impact? If they ask the IKSC coordinator may say, in general, we conducted a polio program where polio drops awareness have been created among the society. It was very good. It went very well. Like this. Um, Exaggerating words or flourish language words will not yield the CGPAs here. Or to get good marks, here we need to collect the data. Like if we have been conducting blood donation program, now the agency or the hospital which is collecting the blood units, they will going to give certificates on how many units they have got. But we need to request them after 1 month or 2 months. We should officially request them to give feedback or what was the impact happened after collecting those blood units. How many lives have been saved? Or if you conduct an program in a village about awareness on education to the women, then after 3 months gap or 6 months gap, you should revisit over there from the local authorities or to the public. You should collect some feedback. After we conducting the program about cleanliness or about education, how many restrooms have been constructed, or you can collect the data about how many women child or girls have been continued their education who are in the state of stopping their education. So these type of data need to be collected. That has to be mentioned as an the impact of conducting those extension activities. And it should be provided by the outsiders. From the society, we need to collect the feedback, not from the present students. Through the students, we will conduct the activities, but the feedback should be collected from the outsiders. So this is what about the impacts on the extension activities need to be focused to get good weightage here. In a key indicator 3.4, the second question speaks about the awards and recognitions for doing the extension activities. And these awards or recognition or appreciation letters must be from any government or government recognized bodies. It is also a QLM. Here the award letters and recognition certificates has to be mentioned. If you are donating some blood units, then collect some awards or some appreciation letters from them, and those people must be recognized by the government or government recognized bodies should provide these certificates. Unless until if you are doing this for a private hospital, then it will not be considered. So the concern of the NAAC here is the institution should do the extension activities in association or which is beneficial to the true society needy people. If it is done within a private hospital, then it cannot be considered as an extension activities. To their personal benefit, they have been taken the blood units and they will be utilizing, even though we are serving the society, but not with the right persons. So they are also mentioning about the certificates and appreciation letters will be considered only from the government and government recognized bodies. I'm not blaming anyone here, but the awareness must be there before conducting any program. If it is related to extension activities, then must and should we collect the feedback as well as the awards or appreciation letter from the concerned authorities, and we will get the good weightage. And the last part is about the um, extension and outreach programs conducted by the institution through NSS, NCC, Red Cross, or YRs, including programs such as Swachh Bharat, AIDS awareness, gender issues, etc., and even which are organized in collaboration with industry, community, and NGOs during the last period. Only assessment year programs will be considered. The two which are more focusing about the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, AIDS awareness program, or any gender issues related programs, any other educational related awareness programs, and for the benefit of the farmers or rural people or the needy people, that will be considered over here. The things here is we need to provide the information in two formats, that is uh, year and total number of activities, not about the participants, number of activities conducted during the assessment year. And the second one, in the Excel sheet, we need to mention details about the program, that is the name of the activity. In the second column, organizing unit or agency or collaborating agency. If it is done with the in-house committee, then mention the committee name. If it is done with the NSS committee, then you can mention about the NSS committee. If it is done with the YRC, then we will mention in-house YRC. If it is done with any outside agencies having collaborations, that agency details has to be provided. Name of the scheme. Sometimes even government will be having some schemes to conduct the programs. They will be providing the funds. Those schemes has to be mentioned if available. Otherwise, we will mention it as in-house. If the finance or funding will be done by the ourselves or through the management, then we should mention it as in-house. The last column is year of the activity has to be mentioned. So the detailed report has to be provided regarding the each and every programs. So newspaper cuttings, if you have anything, just take that. If it is in the regional language, then try to write 2 to 3 lines as a summary in English, and that has to be in the letterhead. Scan it and upload to your institutional website, and it will be yielding the good weightage, where it considers 20 weightage here. If you conduct more number of activities each and every year, the average will be taken. More the average, more weightage will be provided. So if you don't have geotagged photo also, you can do one thing. Just take the normal photo, and under that photo in the letterhead, you need to write the details. It is related to which program, on what day it has been conducted, who was the resource person, or how many participants were there. If somebody is giving some special lecture, then the name of special lecture, or the person, resource person name has to be mentioned over there. So like this, geotagged photos, if not available, normal photos with caption will be considered. When comes to the case of key indicator 3.5, that is about the major topic of criterion 3, that is collaboration. So here only one question is there, that is 3.5.1 metric. The number of MOUs, collaborations, linkages for faculty exchange, student exchange, internship, field visit, on-the-job training, research and other academic activities during the last 5 years. So we should consider here it has been awarded with the 20 weightage to get more number of collaboration activities. So we need to be active cells through our NSS and IKSC, and other committees need to focus on having the collaboration instead of doing on their own. So where we will going to get the good weightage. So the details has to be provided like this. And many of the institutions think about how to go with the MOUs and collaboration or linkages. Or is there any difference between MOUs and collaboration? In simple words, as per my understanding, I can say MOU will be for a particular period, and it will be for mutual benefits of the parties involved. When it comes to the case of collaboration, even for one-day activity, if it is done with the association of some other person for single person benefit also, then it will be considered as collaboration. So these type of activities needs to be conducted. The details has to be provided in this 7 columns. First one is serial number. Second one is the name of the MOU or collaboration or linkage. And in the third column, we should mention about the name of the collaborating agency or industry. Or linkage is made with the contact details. So those details has to be mentioned over here. Then year of signing the MOU or collaboration, duration must be there. And this duration, I request, if it is only for 1 year, 2 year, every year you need to renewal that. And my final suggestion on MOU is, if it is active, then only they will going to consider. Active means 2 things we need to observe. One is the duration. Duration must be in the assessment year and continuation. The second one is only having the MOU is not enough. The activities must be conducted over there. That is the next column. In the 6th column, they are asking list the actual activities under each MOU that need to be mentioned. Link to the relevant document as well. That MOUs has to be published in the website. So you can see here, I will show some samples. See here, one of the government college have been in with the private company. They have got some understanding. And party 1 is World Alumni Network for Private Limited, and party 2 is some institution. And they are mentioning the mutual benefits. What is the role of party 1 and what are the roles of party 2 as well. And both the parties with the witness signature will be avoided. If it is taken in any stamp paper, then also it will be considered. If it is taken in the letterhead, then also it will be considered by the NAAC. The thing is, it should be functional in 2 ways. One is duration, another one is activities. Both should be there. So here, for the benefit of students, they have gone with the MOU for faculty exchange and staff exchange. They have taken this MOU. And one more sample I have here also. This is related to the one college and between the forest department. So here with the government agency also they can have a MOU regarding that party 1 and party 2. The roles has to be mentioned. Here the party 2 is forest department to provide a required plans to on the any environment day programs or anywhere whatever they conduct extension activities there. Then party 2 on its platform will provide the link to the party 1's college promises. Whatever the linkages available schemes that has to be provided. Like this, mutual benefits, they have to enhance the linkages, and we need to encash the facilities available from them, and both the parties signature must be available. It can be taken either in bond paper or in the letterhead as well. So these type of documents will be considered in the collaboration and MOUs. So this is the major topics we concentrated in criterion 3. Okay, now shall we move on to the criterion 4? So till now we are focusing about the curriculum and teachers teaching in the classroom in the criterion 2, and in the criterion 3 the role of teacher beyond the classroom. Now we are talking about the facilities, that too with related to learning resources. What are the infrastructural facilities available? For that, the criterion 4 speaks with 100 weightage. And the key indicator is mentioned as four sub chapters will be there, and only 6 questions will be here, among them 3 QNM, 3 QLMs. So we need to write what are the facilities available, and also sometimes we need to give the statistical information as well. Here many of the institution thinks about if you have a good infrastructure you will get good marks. So that is not the question here. Here, infrastructure has been allocated with only 30 weightage among 1,000. So many of the institutions thinks that if you have a big college, you will get good grade. And if you have a very small building, you will get less grade. NAAC is not at all related to the infrastructural facilities. It provides only 30 weightage out of 1,000 for the infrastructure. Even the small colleges, what is happening inside the college, for that the NAAC will provide the grade. So NAAC is providing the grade on the basis of quality, not on the quantity about the facilities. Here the first physical facilities have been awarded with 30 weightage, which is of combination of one QNM and one QLM. Second one is library. For that also they have given 20 weightage as a one QLM. And the major and third portion is IT infrastructure. So here is bandwidth and internet facilities and computers for that purpose. Yeah. So all these about the resources, and the fourth portion speaks about maintenance of these facilities. What policy documents you have, how you are maintaining, that has to be mentioned over here, which is awarded with the 20 weightage. So put together 100 weightage will be available. Let us know about the physical facilities, that is key indicator 4.1, or we can call it as academic and non-academic facilities in the institution. In previous manual, there were 2 questions available. One is for academic activities, what are the facilities available. In another question, they used to ask about the sports and cultural, that is non-academical activities, what are the facilities available. Now they have combined that question here, that availability of adequate infrastructure and physical facilities like classrooms, number of classrooms available, and number of laboratories. Out of them, how many are ICT facilitated? Then for cultural activities, what type of facilities you have, open auditorium or closed auditorium, what is the seating capacity, all those things required. Then gymnasium, if available in a good manner, that can be considered. And yoga center. So if you make any place for the health and hygiene facility, so that is also required. So they have concentrated on academics, co-curricular, and even non-academic activities as well. Here, the health issues as well will be considered. For that purpose also, they have given the importance in the questions. Instead of writing here how many classrooms are there, so write how many ICT facilities available, and how it will be beneficial for how many number of students, those type of statistical. That means my point is, instead of mentioning just the facility, How it has been utilizing in the last 5 years, that need to be mentioned over here. If you have an open auditorium, instead of just listing what are available, just take 500 words to explain how it has been utilized, what is the procedure. So those type of things, what are the activities conducted here, national level, cultural programs conducted, open in the open auditorium, those type of information need to be provided here in the 500 words. And it will be helpful at the time of meeting visit as well, to explain in a right manner by the IKC coordinator in his or her presentation. And the second one is second question speaks about the percentage of expenditure. So here the expenditure, we need to understand the excluding salary for infrastructure augmentation during the last 5 years. In rupees, we need to mention in lakhs. So 10 weightage is available. First one, we need to understand two words. First word is infrastructure. Here infrastructure means both academic and non-academics. If one more auditorium constructed, that can be considered. One more classroom conducted, that can be considered. If you have purchased another 10 laptops or 10 computers, that can be considered. Software purchased, that can be considered. Anything you additionally built or increase the infrastructural facilities which is helpful for academics and non-academics, can be considered here. Any new constructions or new purchases of assets, in commerce words we can say capital assets. So the fixed assets, these type of fixed assets additionally purchased during the last 5 years, we need to provide the details in the Excel sheet in the manner in which year and what was the budget allocated, and infrastructural expenditure for augmentation, and for expenditure on maintenance of academic facilities, excluding salary. If you have constructed one auditorium, what are the expenses incurring, electricity charges or any other facilities created for that, utilizing that facility, those things can be considered here. Laboratory has been constructed, that is also an augmentation. And what are the chemicals or anything, instruments purchased which are of nominal value, that can be considered as expenditures. So then the total expenditure including excluding salary, total expenditure means one is augmentation, another one is maintenance. Both the information has to be provided. For this purpose, the main source for the information is the office people. So if many of the institutions will be having this wordings also. NAAC means it is the work of teachers, or only for teaching fraternity it will be. Not like that. NAAC will be for institution, higher education institution. Both the office, that is non-teaching staffs and teaching staffs, are both like a kidneys for the institution. Both are required. If both are functioning, the institution will work in a good manner. So this is what about the details we need to provide in the 4.1.2. And when it comes to the case of key indicator 4.2, library as a learning resource. So in the library, what they are expecting, in the QLM, we need to write in 500 words about the ILMS, that is Integrated Library Management System, or any subscription to e-resources, amount spent on purchase of books, journals, and per day usage of library. These are the very valuable area a librarian should focus. We were mentioning in criteria to those librarian and the principal and physical director need not to be considered in criteria 2, but their role plays majorly in criterion 4 and 5. They are the very good persons to give the proper details to get the good weightage here. So those persons has to concentrate on updating their library system and make it as automated. And many of the library informations will be providing partially automated or fully automated. There is nothing like that. If it is automated, it must be a fully automated. What do you mean by automated? If a student enters into the library, without involving any persons of the library, finding out the book which is required for that particular student, where it is located, that has to be shown in the system. And they only go and get the books, and they will only enter as it has been issued and are returning. So the software must be there where it will give the location of the book where it has been put in the in which compartment or where in the which place, that has to be shown, second row or third row, like that particular details. If it is providing, then it is automated. If not, if you have only barcode system, then it is not automated. That's the simple thing. My request is, try to concentrate on making or purchasing the software which are required to make the automated library system, where anybody enters into the system, they should log in through their ID cards, and while going out, they should log out. Like that facility need to be focused to get good weightage in this question. And even the login logout details has to be increased per day by giving more assignments from the teaching faculty to the students. By this, students will visit the library, and many of the institutions will be having 20 teachers, and per day usage will be 5. Now the minimum number must be 21, because all the teachers every day they should visit the library, because as per the UGC norms we will be having 40 hours of workload per week, and out of them 10 hours have been allocated as per the UGC norms for preparations for teaching. That has to be taken at the institution. It must be in the library. If it happens like that, both the librarian and institutions will be benefited by the usage of those resources. So this is what my concern. Try to involve more or spend at least 10 minutes per day in the library, and it will also create the documents which are required for the NAAC purpose as well. And the next key indicator speaks about the IT infrastructural facilities. IT infrastructural facilities speaks about the 30 weightage has been allocated. The first one is about the QLM, awarded with 20 weightage. It speaks about institution frequently updates its IT facilities and provides sufficient bandwidth for internet connection. Sufficient bandwidth for internet connection. Here, if you have 10 rooms and having 100 Mbps speed will not be sufficient. So that's why they have given 20 weightage here. They want us to provide the proper facility. If you have 30 classrooms, out of them 10 are ICT enabled. If you mention it as ICT enabled, there must be an internet facility. And by having only one modem having 100 Mbps speed, it cannot be concluded that we are using the ICT enabled teaching facility for the teachers. In criteria 2 also we lose the marks. In criteria 4 also we lose the marks. If you want to get good weightage, kindly increase the connections. That is, if you have 100 Mbps speed modems, increase according. If you have 5 rooms, 100 Mbps is required. If you have 10 rooms, minimum. Like that, if you are building according to your requirement, on your own opinion, you can increase the bandwidth connection. Even you can count here what are the internet connections available for office and principal administration purpose also. That can also be considered even for teaching. Everything must be provided. How frequently it is getting updated or increasing, on that basis they will going to award the weightage. Here the documents are something we should mention about the service provider. That is the e-copy. E-copy means a scanned copy of document of agreement with the service provider. If billing copy is available, that need to be concentrated. And even interface screenshot, that can be considered. On the Google, you will be finding some speed test that is not considered by the NAAC because it is a third party information. Any thing which is paid version, then only you will going to get the authenticity. And a brief write-up including the nature of connection, validity, speed, how much amount you are spending, how it has been utilizing. These type of beautiful procedures has to be written in 500 words. So this is about the 4.3.1 metric. Now the last but one question is about 4.3.2, that is student and computer ratio. Data for the latest completed academic year will be considered, not the 5 years data. Recent academic year which is completed. Now the 22 and 23 is the running academic year. The completed means 21 and 22. How many computers you have? And even there will be an ambiguity whether to consider the total computers available or not. Here the first point, it speaks about the students. That means if the computer is for the students, then you can count. If it is for administration purpose, then it cannot be. In simple words, I can say in a library, you will be using 5 systems where one will be used by the librarian and 4 will be used by the students. Then you need to consider 4, not 5. If you have 50 computers, 5 computers used for the administration purpose in the office or by the IKC coordinator or somebody else or by the teachers, then it cannot be considered. How many available for students? That will be only to be considered. Number of computers available for students use only to be provided. And the document must be in 2 ways. One is the bill for the purchase, and the second one need to be mentioned as a stock register, highlighting the entries of computers purchased in the stock register to be uploaded. Even if it is purchased beyond assessment year also, it can be considered. The thing is, the stock register should mention one point, that is the date of purchase. The second point, who is using that or the purpose of that asset must be mentioned in a separate column. For that only the marks will be awarded. In the stock register, if you don't have the purpose, then you are supposed to create a column for that, and you need to mention whether it is for administration purpose or teaching learning purpose or faculties or students. That need to be mentioned. Only for the students available computers will be considered here, which will be allocated as 10 weightage. And we will be talking about the ideal computer ratio. Total number of the students available in the institution is to how many computers. So the ideal ratio is 10:1. That means for every 10 students, there must be a computer. If it is that, so as per the data available, so we will get the complete weightage. If it beyond that 15:1, 50:1, then the weightage will be reduced. If the ratio is less than 10, then also we will get the good weightage. And yesterday we were speaking about the student teacher ratio as well. There also I'm mentioning if it is less than 10, when it comes to the case of UG, PG, now the manual speaks about both the UG and PG are same. And if you want to consider, if it is less than 15, then only you will get good weightage. If it is 25 also, need not to be worried. Beyond 25, you will lose more marks. So that is what the observations among the procedures what we have followed in the last 2 years. So, and highlight the entries of the computers purchased as well in the stock register. So that need to be mentioned. And now, till now, we spoke about the resources available at the institutional level. Now, the points or marks will be allocated, weightages will be allocated for their maintenance. Maintenance of campus infrastructure. That is key indicator 4.5. 4, the last part of today's session, and very technical aspect, where 4.4.1 metric speaks about the percentage of expenditure incurred on maintenance of infrastructure, that is physical and academic support facilities, excluding salary component during the last 5 years. We have been given the same format in key indicator 4.1 also, where you are supposed to give the details about the augmentation. That means new construction or new purchase. Now, if you purchased 10 computers, you will show in key indicator 4.1. But to use that computer or for repairs and maintenance or to get the cartridges or printers, so scanners, or any other facilities, generator facilities, maintenance, so tables, chairs, projectors, anything. So all those physical facilities, if you spent for repairs, then that should be considered here. For academic facilities like purchasing the softwares, updating with the antivirus, and telephone bills and electricity bills, cartridge refilling expenses, IKAC, any amount sanctioned for IKAC committee and spent, and exam expenses, office expenses, stationery expenses, any administrative expenses, excluding salary, that can be maintenance of restrooms, washrooms, and building painting, repairs, everything can be considered here except salary and new construction. New constructions will be asked in a separate question, and maintenance amount has to be mentioned in a separate question. Together, both of these amount we will mention in the extended profile. So it should match. Many of the institutions are getting DVB regarding this. In the extended profile, if they mention 10 lakhs, if they have purchased 8 lakhs of computers and 2 lakhs for maintenance of it, then 2 lakhs has to be mentioned in 4.4.1 and 8 lakhs has to be mentioned in the key indicator 4.1. So this is what the major aspect we need to concentrate, and together this amount 10 lakhs has to be mentioned in the extended profile, where they will going to ask the total expenditure in the institution. So this is all about the criterion 4. Today I have provided the information about the criterion 3 and 4 as well. So now it is for open house discussion. Any questions and queries, questions required, please kindly text it in the chat box.
Thank you, sir. Your words were truly thought-provoking. Participants, if you have any queries, you can post them in the chat box. Or you can even unmute and talk.
So here, Rupasri ma'am have been asking about the workshop and seminar conferences conducted based on research. Should we have to consider only this or not? The question is like this. The answer is very simple, including research, entrepreneurship, and any other topics. Anything can be considered. Any other clarifications required regarding criteria 3 and 4, you can ask.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for your presentation.
Yes.
As regards MOUs, you were talking about the relevance of making it functional.
Yes.
Is there any guideline as far as the number of activities to be done, minimum number of activities to be done under an MOU in a given year?
No, sir. There is no restriction on minimum and maximum activities need to be done. Only the guidance is there. There must be some activities.
At least one activity in a given
At
year.
least one activity must be there. Then
Okay,
only it can be considered as functional.
So my question is, if my college has my college is in Kerala, if my college has a MOU with a college in Delhi, it would be difficult for faculty or student to come and visit. So in that case, if we organize any sort of online program that would come under MOU, would it be fine?
Yes, sir. That also can be considered if it is related to research or anything specific activities. Then it will be helpful where the beneficiaries, like students, will be publishing any research papers, or it will be helpful for their career enhancement. These type of things can be considered. It speaks about student exchange and faculty exchange as well. So with the other institution also, it is possible. Even through the online also, you can do that activities, sir.
All
So the
right, sir. Thank you.
majorly the thing is a screenshot must be there. So
Yeah.
that screenshot has to be mentioned in letterhead. Then only they will going to consider. If you just
Okay.
mention online details, it will not be considered.
Okay, sir. Thank you for your response.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Sir,
Please go ahead.
Sir, this is regarding that MOU. We have applied for MOU with big good corporate, but it's under pipeline. It's not yet. We are not received. Whether that an NAAC committee will come, it means whether we are supposed to say that we are already applied, but we are not get the confirmation from corporate side. Like that, it's possible
Okay.
to for consideration, sir.
The first thing we will be raising another two questions regarding the under MOU, which type of activity considered, and about the activities as well. So just my response towards the MOU is not something like we should approach somebody and are applying to them. So it is having a mutual agreement in the paper. So it may not happen with the corporate companies all the time. Even with the present any other educational institution, with them also you can do it, you can have it, but it should not be with the sister concerns. If the same trust is running 2 or 3 educational institutions, if they take any MOUs, it will not be considered. And during the assessment year, what are the MOUs available? That statistics need to be provided. At the time of peer team visit, also it must be a functional way. If it is initiated during the peer team visit, you are not supposed to highlight it in front of the peer team visit.
I would understand that, sir, the mutual concern only for MOU taking, but the thing is, we have they have accepted, but we have sent the document, but still we are not receiving the document from their side. So is it?
Okay,
but
you
we
can
have
do
a
one thing, ma'am. In
document
your
of which we have
institutional letterhead itself, in your institutional letterhead itself, you mentioned both the parties' name and what was the conversation between the two parties, and what are the benefits like that. And one side, your signature must be there, and go and request them to put a signature or like this. So that also can be considered as a MOU.
Oh, thank you. Sir, one more question, sir. Sir, is it mandatory for keeping incubator center in every college, sir? Mandatory?
Pardon me, ma'am, I didn't hear you.
Sir, it's mandatory for maintaining incubator center in every college, sir?
Madam, it's very simple. They have allocated 20 weightage, and there is no opt-out matrix here. So that means it is compulsory to form a committee on research. Even UGC have given the letter. So on research and development cell must be there in each and every institution. So this is what the guidelines we have. So if you have that, you will get the marks. If you don't have that, you will lose the more number of weightage, and it will also affect the other metrics as well.
Sir, one more thing, sir. We are going to construct for a big auditorium. So you said that no, we have to take for this all the things we are taking consideration of that expenditure like that. So is it the one of the things for consider for that we are going to construct? So the next month we are planning to start the construction. So this is also whether we have to include that.
Okay, it's a very
Infrastructure.
10, it's something like a 10 marks question. So if you mention in the text, I will just address that. And a few others have mentioned a few questions. Can IIT spoken tutorials online program can be considered as a collaborative activity? Yes, it can be considered. And what is government recognized body? That means which are registered association will be called as government recognized body, and any trust, NGOs, something like that. And what is collaborative activities? So they have asked about the collaboration. Collaboration means if you are conducting any programs on research activities or any blood donation camp in association with or in collaboration with some agencies, you will be conducting those type of programs can be accepted. Or if you conduct any tally program by including a faculty member of other institution on a particular day, so that can be considered as a collaborative activity, and also it will be counted as some faculty exchange program. So these type of activities can be considered. And what else? The questions I'm seeing. 3.5.1, it is a required activity report under each MOU. 100%. If you drop a pin also, it should show like that. We need to create or we need to arrange all the documents which are required. So many of the institutions will be doing this on a regular basis in a beautiful manner. So that need to be there. If documents are not there, yes, sir. If documents are not available, then the activities will not be considered. If you have the proof, then only you will get the weightage.
Sir, good afternoon.
Yes, madam.
Sir, if we present paper with other faculty who belongs to some other institution, shall we keep that as a collaborative activity?
It cannot be. It's a personal achievement that cannot be considered as a collaborative activity. In collaboration, two parties means institution and other agencies, and the beneficiaries must be students or any faculty members. Even if you conduct a research program like this, workshops in collaboration with some other institution for your college faculties members, then it can be considered.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you, Sankita ma'am. Then Vimal, sir, if you are asking any doubts. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, madam.
Sir, regarding academic expense and augmentation expenses, sir, can we take quasi-government funds?
Yes, madam. You can consider quasi-government, government, and students' contribution. Anything can be considered. The thing is, if it is spent on augmentation, separately you should show. If it is spent on maintenance, separately in Criterion 4.4.1, you should show. If it is paid for salary, it should be ignored. So they are not asking about the source. They are asking about how it has been spent, how much.
Only expenses.
Yes. Yes.
In CDC amount also we have salary.
Sources are not important, madam. How much amount has been spent?
Okay, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
So, and Vimal sir is asking about the library automation. So library automated, if it is completely automated, means if a student enters through the software only, he should log in and you should check whether the book is available. If it is available, in which compartment, in which row it is available, like how we do in Sapna Book House or something like in a where we will going to get the location of the actual book by mentioning the author name or book name, how many books available. Everything should be shown to the students directly. It should not be informed by the librarian manually. Then it will be considered as completely automated. To do and complete automation, it may cost around a total 65 to 70,000 for one-time investment. I feel around this approx it will happen for one library. So how many books you will be having, that doesn't make any difference. So if it is automated, then only you will get good marks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your insights and addressing the queries of our participants. I don't find any other questions in the chat box.
Yes.
I think we shall end the session now. Shall we, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Before ending the session, I would like to give the closing remarks for the session. Thank you very much, sir. You have explained each and everything very clearly and very specifically by giving very good examples of what kind of documents to be maintained and how it should be relevant to the criterions. Sir have also given us, sir have also updated all of us with the recent notification of UGC regarding research and development cell. Sir also spoke about the procedures and parameters of the research cell, its functioning and all. Sir also discussed about the mandatory contents which are to be included in a report. Thank you very much, sir, for your suggestions and advices. It will definitely support the NAAC aspirants regarding usage of library related documents and all. We are very much thankful for you for accepting to be the resource person and enriching all of us with your knowledgeable experience, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I thank our principal, IQAC team, organizing and technical team for their support. Dear participants, thank you for your kind cooperation and attending the session, participating actively in the session. Thank you very much. Feedback link will be posted in the chat box. Kindly fill the feedback form. Before we end today's session, let me inform everyone that we will be connecting back on 27th February, that is on Monday, to have discussion on criteria 5 of NAAC. Thank you all. Feedback link is shared in the chat box. Kindly fill the feedback form.